أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين ثم أما بعد. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talked in Surah Al-Bagara about the believers in 4 ayat, then talk about the disbeliever 2 ayat, and about the munafiqeen, hypocrites, in 13 verses. And then here, verse number 21 of Surah Al-Bagara, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhan nas. Some nida in Al-Quran is directed to al-mu'mineen, Ya ayyuhan ladina amanu. And usually, as Abdullah bin Saud observed, that when you hear Allah saying, Ya ayyuhan ladina amanu, then listen carefully, because after this nida, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will order you to do something that is useful for you, or will prohibit you from doing something harmful to you. Taklif, yani, responsibilities. Ya ayyuhan ladina amanu, kutib alaykum as-siyam, Ya ayyuhan ladina amanu, la tas'alu an ashya'. So either amr or nahy comes after Ya ayyuhan ladina amanu. This actually connects perfectly the concept of belief and practice. Ya ayyuhan ladina amanu, Allah reminds us of the covenant we have with Him, the fact that we are believers, and then the practice comes after this. Do this or don't do that. Ya ayyuhan ladina amanu. And sometimes He says Ya ayyuhan nas. Ya ayyuhan ladina amanu, addressing the believers, and of course unbelievers are not required to do or to follow Sharia. For those who are not Muslims, they are not required to pray or to fast or pay zakat until they believe first. They come to Islam first, then when they become Muslim, then they are required to follow all these guidance. But Ya ayyuhan nas, usually addressing all mankind, with something that's related to all mankind. All people are required to do. Like this, that here, Ya ayyuhan nas wa'budu rabbakum. Allah is talking to all people, Ya ayyuhan nas. Believers, unbelievers, Muslims, non-Muslims, all people. Because we are all created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and are expected to worship the Creator. This is Tawheed. Tawheed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to believe that He is the only one who provides, creates, and also to believe that He is the only one who deserves to be worshipped. وَاعْبُدُوا رَبَّكُمُ الَّذِي خَلَقَكُمْ. So, al-ibadah wal-khalq. Who deserves to be worshipped except the one who made us exist? Right? Hadith al-Qudsi, إِنِّي وَالْإِنسِ وَالْجِنِّ فِي كِتَابٍ عَظِيمٍ أَخْلُقُ وَيُعْبَدُ غَيْرُي. Allah says that I create and they worship someone else. And I provide and they thank someone else. Isn't this kind of amazing or strange? So when we say La ilaha illallah, we admit that Allah is the one who made us exist, and He is the one who provides for us, and He is the one who deserves to be worshipped. We don't separate between these two things. Some like to call this Tawheed al-Rububiyyah, and this is Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah. The Taymiyyah came up with this Trinity. I know this terminology is provocative, but the three kinds of Tawheed, Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah, al-Rububiyyah, and Tawheed al-Sifat, that's how he understood the concept of Tawheed, divided into three. Rububiyyah, Allah is the Rabb, the creator, the provider, and al-Ilah, the one who deserves to be worshipped, and Sifat Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, the attributes of Allah are not like the attributes of anybody else. Allah is Rahim, and someone could be Rahim, right? Allah is Kareem, a person could be Kareem, but the Karam, the Rahmah of Allah is totally different from all mankind or anyone else. فَاعْبُدُوا رَبَّكُمُ الَّذِي خَلَقَكُمْ وَالَّذِينَ مِن قَبْلِكُم. So ibadah in Islam, the concept of ibadah is so wide that it includes all deeds or words or actions that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala likes. Right? So, or Udu Rabbakum includes all forms of good deeds. As we mentioned before in the Friday khutbah, last ayat of Surah Al-Hajj, Allah says, اركعوا واسجدوا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اركعوا واسجدوا واعبدوا ربكم فعلوا خيرا. So that opens up the door of ibadah. So anything we do that please Allah is a form of ibadah. If we do it with a good intention. Right? So when we sleep to get rest so that we can wake up for Fajr and carry on our responsibility. So we get rewarded for this. When we eat with the intention of being healthy and get enough energy so that we can carry on our responsibilities. When we pray, obviously, it's a form of ibadah, great form of ibadah. Doing good or sharing with others, removing harm from people, or relieving you from debts, for example, or planting a tree with the intention of giving it as a gift for others, and so on. Anything that pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the main purpose of our creation. As we mentioned before, famous ayah of Surah Al-Bagara, مَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونِ. And Abbas saying, لِيَعْبُدُونَ here means يَعْرِفُونَ, to know me. And when we know Allah, then automatically, naturally, we will worship Him, we will obey Him, we will love Him, we sacrifice for Him, we would obey Him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And all comes with ma'rifah, knowing Allah. That's why Abbas and others said, لِيَعْبُدُونَ, it starts with ma'rifah, knowing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ibadah comes as a result of this, not the other way. We see many worshippers, they worship and they get these forms of ibadah, but they don't really know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why they, you see this separation between people's engagement in ibadah, and at the same time, their behavior is not, the same level of devotion for ibadah. So they do ibadah, but this ibadah doesn't stop them from cheating, or harming others, or stealing. So al-ibadah comes as a result of the ma'rifah. Imam Ghazali said that the more you know Allah, the more you love Him, the more you feel Him. The more you're oath, the more that الذين يخشون ربهم, يخشون ربهم, they have an understanding or some understanding of the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how powerful it is, how great it is. يدعون ربهم خوفا وطمعا, they worship Allah between hope and fear. When they remember the mercy of Allah, they have great hope that they will enter them. And when they are reminded of the severe punishment of Allah, they are also worried that they might not be able to make it to them. So, ibadah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala includes anything that pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whether it is internal or external. Yani, could be ibadah, obviously, like Hajj. Everybody knows this person went for Hajj, right? And you do it often. You come for tomorrow, you see people see you, you cannot hide it. But some other ibadat that only Allah knows. The ibadat al-qalb, a'mal al-qalb, sincerity, love, fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All these kind of ibadat al-qalb, tawakkul ala Allah, trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to be aware of Allah, أخبركم الله نفسه. It's also a form of khushu', prayer. So prayer could be done perfectly from fiqh perspective. The outside of the way the person worships is perfect, but the inside could be corrupt. He's doing this because of people, right? Like this person was praying inside, he heard people talk, oh wow, look at this prayer, mashallah. And his salah is perfect, mashallah, he's making a lot of salah and things. And he couldn't hold it, and I'm fasting today too. This one didn't know that he's fasting. So people sometimes they cannot hold it. They always like to talk what they have done in the past, and we have done this, we have done that. They keep talking so much about their good deeds. They want people to know about it. This became a goal. And sometimes that's a totally different subject, but Ghazali, when he writes, he actually writes as a psychologist or psychiatrist, someone who knows what is going on within our mind. Sometimes we deceive ourselves that we do something, we think it's for Allah, but it's not really for ourselves. And we like people to know about it, and we talk so much about it. Whereas those who are so sincere, they don't really, they used to hide the good deeds as we hide our bad deeds. They don't want anybody to know as much as they can. Talking about the person who used to fast for years, and his wife does not know because he takes his lunch with him, but he does not eat it at least. She thinks that he eats lunch at his workplace, and then he comes back and gets his dinner. That's his iftar. Yeah, his wife does not know. Or someone who prays at night and his wife does not know, or spends, and his right and his left hand does not know much about what his right hand spends. So ibadah includes the outside and the inside forms of ibadah. And some ibadat we do it collectively, like I said, Jum'ah, Tarawih, Salat al-Jama'ah, Hajj, all these kind of ibadat do it in congregation, and it's better to do it in congregation. And others, it's better to do it individually. Just to keep this balance between connecting yourself with Allah and connecting yourself with the community. Sometimes we do forms of act together because it brings us together as a community. When the entire community come and pray behind one imam and we make the same ruku' at the same time and sujood at the same time, start together and they end the salah together, that's spiritual / social activities. But sometimes we also called upon to do active worship all by ourselves. Like Qiyamul Layl. That's why Qiyamul Layl is the best prayer after 5 daily obligatory prayers. Because nobody sees you, or number two, you don't have to do it. But those who have a lot of love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they enjoy, they have this intimate relationship with Allah, and they feel good when they talk to Him and recite His Quran. It's enjoyable for them. It's something that's enjoyable, not a burden. From outside it looks like a burden, someone standing at night or praying, everybody's enjoying sleep, but for him, that's his enjoyment. That's where he finds peace. So, all these forms of ibadat need to be done. And ibadat also could be, we need to think about what is known as ibadat al-waqf. There are so many forms of ibadat, but which ibadat comes first? It depends on the situation. Right? So now we are, I hope, we're practicing a form of ibadah, seeking knowledge, right? But when Isha time comes, right? Adhan is the ibadah that comes first. If we are sitting here now and the janazah came, then we have to leave everything and just follow the janazah, right? When you see people are suffering or desperate need for help, then the ibadah of that time is to go and help them. So when there are different forms of ibadat, they I don't want to say in conflict, but you have to prioritize your ibadat. So reading Quran is of course one great form of ibadat. But with the jama'ah, you have to call the iqamah and you close your mushaf and join the jama'ah, right? So which ibadah comes first? This question comes to us all the time, right? Sometimes people ask themselves, is it better to pay off my debt or to make hajj? Because if you pay off my debt, then I won't be able to go for hajj. Right? When for hajj, then I have to delay paying off debt. Right? These are two forms of that. Usually, the ibadah has to do with people right, should have the priority because hajj is obligatory only when you are able to, financially and physically. So if you pay off your debt, you have an excuse. You have no money to go for hajj. Allah will not ask you about it because you don't have money. Right? I'm talking about the debt that's immediately due, not the 30 years. So you ask this question all the time. Should I go for Hajj or get married? Someone who has some money and either get married or perform Hajj. So Hajj is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. Marriage is not. Right? So it might be considered, okay, so you go for Hajj because Hajj is one of the 5 pillars. Well, this is the value of knowledge, and the Mufti should ask this person if he is patient enough, can delay marriage, fine, go for Hajj. But if he has the urge to get married, cannot wait any longer, then to go and Hajj. Getting married is a wajib on you now. Just go and get married. And again, if your entire money went towards marriage, then you are unable to perform Hajj. You are fine, because Hajj, according to Imam Shafi'i and others, is not due immediately, it's due once in a lifetime. So, 2 forms of ibadat are in conflict, then you have to choose based on knowledge and consulting the people of knowledge. But sometimes we enjoy one form of ibadah, but we don't enjoy the other. And we always prioritize based on what we desire. Like those who make Umrah every year, go for Hajj every year, and they know they have family members who are suffering and very poor. So if they really want to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then they should spend this money in feeding hungry people. Right? And paying off their debts. People are suffering. Yeah, performing Hajj and Umrah, of course, it's a form of ibadat, but which ibadat would be more appreciated by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Of course, wealthy people can do it. I want to go for Hajj because I enjoy it, I like it, I spend a good time there, I love Makkah, Medina. I'm not suggesting that we should go for Hajj or Umrah committing sin, but what I'm saying is that sometimes we have to think about what is the wajib, what kind of ibadah is more pleasing to Allah in this particular situation. There's a very famous story of Abdullah ibn Mubarak, one of the great tabi'in. Abdullah ibn Mubarak was a great imam of his time, and he used to go and lead, his community for Hajj. Those who go for Hajj, he goes as an imam, remind them, give them lectures and answer the questions, lead them in Hajj. That's a good thing about being an imam. You can go for Hajj every year. So anyways, of course, they have to save some money and buy food and things, and then they go caravan together. So that year, in the beginning of their traveling, they passed by a village, and when they stopped there for a while to get some rest, then he saw a lady going to a dumpster and picking a dead chicken. It's garbage. And of course, we know it's haram in Islam to eat dead animals. And when he saw this, he said, okay, follow her. He went to their house, we saw her going back, and they said, lady, I saw you, don't you know that eating dead animals whatever is Islam? And she said, please leave me alone. You don't know what we're going through. You don't know what we're going through. I haven't been able to feed my orphan girls for days. That's the only thing. Allah made halal for us. Just leave us alone. And he was touched by this. He actually gave her all this money that he prepared for Hajj. And he told his people that you go for Hajj, I'm going back home. Us. I'm not going for Hajj. And he gave this wealth, money that he prepared for Hajj to his family. People went for Hajj, came back, and they thanked him so much for the great lectures he gave them and nice reminders, day of Arafah. He said, but I don't understand. I didn't go for Hajj. No, Allah, you were with us, and you gave us lectures. You gave us guidance. And there's some who consider this to be like fake stories, but it's not fake stories, it's real things. He, of course, he desired more to go for Hajj. For him to start the journey and then to go back, it's not easy. But he found out that these people reach this level of poverty, He did that. So he said, no, we'll just give the free money. Go back. So ibadah, اعبدوا ربكم, we need to always keep thinking what kind of ibadah is due now. What Abbas said that I heard the Prophet saying that to walk with your brother and to fulfill his need or to help him achieve something that he desperately needs is better or dearer to Allah than making i'tikaf 1 month in his masjid, the Prophet's masjid. Imagine if you get to place in Rawda Sharifa, Medina, for a month, it's yours. Now, just go with your brothers, get task, whatever he needs, get it done, help him. It's better than, because staying in i'tikaf benefits you, right? But helping someone, it benefits him and his entire family. We are expected to be in the form of ibadah all the time. All the time. We are not part-time worshippers. We worship Allah in everything we do. Right? When we pray and when we fast. Also when we help others, when we interact with people, when we serve humanity. We should always be in the form of ibadah. Whatever we do, we should be وَإِنَّ صَلَاتِي وَنُسُكِي وَمَحْيَايَ وَمَمَاتِي لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Everything I do in my life dedicated to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why the niyyah is important, because everything we do, if it's not preceded by good niyyah, then it becomes a normal act. We don't get reward, maybe not punished, but you don't get any reward for it. Two people eat, when someone gets reward for meal and other does not get reward, because someone is eating with an intention, the other has no intention. Everybody gets married, but someone gets married with the intention of following the sunnah of the Prophet and protecting himself, having good Muslim children, and all these kind of niyyah. Then this adds up and makes this marriage not just a personal relationship or a new stage in life. It's much more than a form of ibadah. يا أيها الناس اعبدوا ربكم الذي خلقكم والذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. Ibadah means more ibadah. That's why the Prophet ﷺ ordered us to, or told us what is obligatory and what is nafil. Nafil means extra, right? So the idea is that the fara'id are the threshold. This is we must do. And then there are so many nawafil, qiyam al-layl, giving more sadaqah, and so on. اعبدوا ربكم الذي خلقكم والذين من قبلكم. It is Allah who created you and those who were before you. لعلكم تتقون, to may achieve taqwa. More ibadah, more the closer we get to the level of taqwa. Taqwa is higher than iman. Iman, that is a higher level of iman, it's called taqwa. And to reach this level, then you have to get yourself busy with so many forms of dhikr and qira'at al-Quran and coming to the masajid, doing good and getting more sadaqah and so on. So ibadat are supposed to increase our iman. Knowledge is supposed to increase our iman. We should always try to achieve this level of taqwa. الذي جعل لكم الأرض فراشا. Worship Him, your Lord, the Creator, who made this earth for you like a bed. Firash, anything that we spread so that you can either walk on it or sit on it. Called firash. Firash in Arabic usually refers to the bed. Right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created this earth and made it as firash. It's like you are spreading like a carpet. And I heard this scientist who was talking about how planet Earth would look like from far away. If you look at planet Earth, of course you can see mountains and you see also deep holes and caves. But the distance between the highest point on Earth and the lowest point, that makes Earth looks like a tennis ball or very soft, this game, what the ball game, balls, very soft. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala farashaha bima'na, it's so vast and it doesn't have an edge, as some believe that the earth is flat. Still, some people believe this. جعل لكم الأرض فراشا wherever you go, there's no end. الذي جعل لكم الأرض فراشا والسماء بناء. He created this heaven. وأنزل من السماء ماء. أنزل من السماء means from the clouds. السماء that السماء الدنيا, السماء الثانية, الثالثة, the first, the third. No, السماء here refers to something close to السماء, that's the cloud. وأنزل من السماء ماء فأخرج به من الثمرات رزقا لكم. He brought out by this water plenty of fruits as provision for you. This actually is a wonderful point in Islamic philosophy that's called causality, the theory of causality. Does it work like this? Philosophers actually talk so much about this, but Imam Ghazali talk in details about the law of causality. This is how Allah creates. So they say that if you put a piece of paper on fire, what will happen? It will burn, right? If you put 100 papers on fire, if you repeat this 100 times, you're going to get the same result, right? How about million times? 100% of the time, you'll get the same result? No. Any process? No. The relationship between putting a piece of paper on fire and the result is burning, there's no good mixture necessarily between the two. Because it's possible that you put a piece of paper on fire, it doesn't burn, like what happened to Ibrahim. So this is 99.99% this may happen. But this is a possibility that doesn't happen. If you take this medication, if you have this illness and take this medication, does it guarantee that you get 100% shifa? No, not necessarily. Most of the time, yes, but not always. So it is Allah who made things work the way it is. But Allah connected things, causes and results. When this happens, usually this happens. Right? That's why the birth of Isa was miraculous, because it doesn't happen like this. When Isa was created from a mother, not from a father. So who is the father of Isa? That was a big question. For us. Okay? Because they think cause and effect. Even Maryam said that how could I have a baby? No man has touched me. Right? Because they make a connection between the creation of babies and marriage, between man and woman. Allah wants to create, does not follow these rules, causality. Right? فأخرج به من الثمرات رزقا لكم فلا تجعلوا لله أندادا وأنتم تعلمون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warned us to not associate other gods with Allah while you know. One of the forms of نجعل له أندادا, as some people say, ما شاء الله وشاء فلان. And the Prophet prohibited people to say that. إن شاء الله لولا الله وفلان ما كان حصل كذا. Wrong, cannot say that. If it was not for Allah and this person would have been, destroyed. No, that's that. You are making someone equal to Allah. Everything happens when the will of Allah. Allah may use people to get things done, but the credit always goes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is point for you. One of the Sahaba actually saw a dream. So I passed by Jewish people and he said, you are the Jews? He said, yes. I said, you are good people. If you're not, you just say Allah. And he said, they said to him, and you are good people if you're not saying MashaAllah wa Sha'a Muhammad. What Allah and the Prophet wants will happen. And he passed by a Christian group and he said the same thing, and they said the same thing to him. And he walked up and he went to the Prophet and he said, Ya Rasulullah, I saw this in my dream. And the Prophet went to the member and he said, never ever say MashaAllah wa Sha'a Muhammad. Don't say that. Don't make me like equal to Allah. This is one of the interpretation of لا تجعلوا لله أندادا. The name is equivalent, someone equivalent to Allah. No, Allah is nothing but لم يكن له كفوا أحد. No one is equal. Don't even when you use the language, be careful what you say, because you may actually make someone equal to Allah. Don't do that. لا تجعلوا لله أندادا وأنتم تعلمون. Allah ليس كمثله شيء سبحانه وتعالى وهو السميع البصير. Nothing like it. لم يكن له كفوا or كفوا أحد. Same thing when people say, when people swear by someone other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are prohibited from saying that. Say, وَحَيَاتَكَ, I swear by your life. If it was not for the dog, the thieves would have, broken in and stole our stuff. Don't say that. Say, Alhamdulillah, that Allah protected us from these people. It was narrated that Isa alayhi salam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered Yahya Zakaria alayhi salam to convey 5 words to Bani Israel. And he was waiting for the right time, and Isa came to Yahya. You know, they were almost the same age. And he said, Oh Yahya, Allah ordered you to convey these 5 words to Bani Israel. So if you are not willing to do that, I will do it. And Yahya said, if you do this, I'm afraid Allah will punish me, so I will go. So he called Bani Israel. They all came to the temple in Jerusalem, and he said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered me to do 5 things, and he ordered me also to tell you to do them. First of all, to worship Allah, not associate anyone in worship with Him. And then order you to pray. Right? And when you pray, do not look right or left or talk or get busy with any other acts out of prayer, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, looks at you when you pray. So it's inappropriate. Allah is paying attention to you, and you are just looking at something else. And then he ordered you to fast and talk about zakat, and we talk about dhikrullah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَإِن كُنتُمْ فِي رَيْبٍ مِّمَّا نَزَّلْنَا عَلَى Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking still to all mankind. يَا أَيُّهَا النَّاسُ إِن كُنتُمْ فِي رَيْبٍ مِّمَّا نَزَّلْنَا عَلَى عَبْدِنَا فَأْتُوا بِسُورَةٍ مِّن مِثْلِهِ وَادْعُوا شُهَدَاءَكُم مِّن دُونِ اللَّهِ إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. If you have any doubt of that which we have revealed to our servant, and the word servant, I know some talk about this, we say نشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله, right? So the word abd, slave or servant, some translate slave of Allah, others say servant of Allah. In Arabic, it's a very negative word. Abd means slave. As you know, the Arabs, like all other cultures, they have slaves. So, except in this context, the context of عبودية لله, to be عبد لله, وأنه لما قام عبد الله سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده وعباد الرحمن. So, those who reach the level of being the worshipper or the servant of Allah alone, they have only one thing that they worship, one thing that they direct their face to. That's ibadah. So it's actually a praise to the Prophet ﷺ. Allah says, Abdullah. وإن كنتم في ريب مما نزلنا على عبدنا فأتوا بسورة من مثله وادعوا شهداءكم من دون الله إن كنتم صادقين. If you have any doubt of that which we have revealed to our servant Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, so why don't you just produce one surah and invite all your assistants, jinn or human, if you are saying the truth. If you claim that it is Muhammad, just one person, who was able to come up with author this Quran, why don't you call all your friends and allies, form a huge committee of the best poets, eloquent people, to produce one surah? And this challenge actually is Medina. Surah Al-Bagara was revealed in Medina, one of the early surahs revealed in Medina. And before that, in Mecca, Surah Hud, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, bring forth 10 surahs like it. In Surah Yunus, surah. But they did not. In Mecca and time in Medina as well, challenge is still there. فَلْيَأْتُوا بِحَدِيثٍ مِثْلِهِ كَانُوا صَدِقِينَ. Let them produce Quran like or. But Arabs, although they did not like the Prophet, they want to prove he's wrong. Why didn't they do that? Why did they do that? You know, if you study Arabic poetry, it's amazing, it's beautiful. But nothing like the Quran. And as mentioned before, people ask what makes the Quran so unique, so different? Using the same words, the same vocabulary, the same sounds, alphabet, everything the same. It's an Arabic, it's an Arabic language. What makes it so unique? What makes it so special? What is it? It's a novel, as Imam Jurjani said, it's a novelty novel. How? Because there's no such a thing as one word that is eloquent and a word that's not eloquent. There's not such a thing like this. It depends on where you put the word. It could be fitting perfectly, so it becomes eloquent expression, or it could be in a wrong place so that nothing else says. It's not colors. There's no such thing like a good color, bad color. It depends on how you know, when you see the portrait, then you can look at the colors, oh, that's perfectly matching and doing something amazing, beautiful. So, from that time, and of course, Arabs failed to do that in the time of the Prophet because very eloquent. Then those who came after, Arabs who came after, this ability of producing Islamic poetry and prose and so on. And of course, non-Arabic speakers, you cannot produce something like that. So, two answers to this question. One is because Al-Quran itself is mu'jiz. The way Al-Quran is composed is mu'jiz, it's i'jaz. Nobody can produce, even a short surah like Inna a'tanaka al-kawthar, Salli rabbika wanhar, Inna shani'aka huwa al-abtar. So, okay, why is it difficult for Arabs to produce something like this? Technically they can. I mean, and again, if you study the poetry that produces amazing. Up until now, to study Ruh Qais and Amr ibn Kulthum and Labid ibn Abi Rabi'a and Harith ibn Hizam and Kharaj, all these great poets. Zuhair ibn Abi Sulman and so on. Abi Rabi'ani. So, why couldn't they say, قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ لَا أَعْبُدُ مَا تَعْبُدُونَ وَلَا أَنْتُمْ عَابِدُونَ مَا أَعْبُدُ وَلَا أَنَا عَابِدٌ مَا عَبَدتُّمْ لَكُمْ دِينُكُمْ وَلِيَ دِينِ. Simple. Arabs did not do that. Up until today, no one produced an ayah or surah, long or short, similar to Al-Quran. So, because Al-Quran is mu'jiz, this is one answer. The second answer that came later on, remember Fakhr al-Razi and others who interact with non-Muslims and so on, they said, no, Arabs can actually produce something like this, and it's not very difficult. But they did not, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not allow them to do it. I'll say it again. Technically they can, but they did not. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not give them the power or the ability to do it. Ibn Kathir did not like this second because although it's not our favorite way, but it works and it's a good hujjah against non-Muslims who attack Islam. Right? So, you know the concept of tawfiq. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know, sometimes you have an excellent player, but this is a very easy chance to make it money. So, there's no tawfiq. For a person with this capability, he could have done this. If you repeat this 100 times, you will score, but this particular second is not tawfiq. So Allah did not give them tawfiq to produce one surah like the Quran. The two opinions, the result is the same, right? That they did not create or bring or add or one surah like the Quran.
There are characters, Jewish characters. They have not been hey, never heard of it.
They did, but it's so funny. I mean,
And even if they introduce it, you read it and you not think that it's
well, it did happen in the time of the Prophet ﷺ. We know there's someone called Musaylima al-Kadhab, right? Musaylima claimed the Prophet because he thought when Islam became so strong and more followers came to Islam, so he said, well, religion is a good business, man. Look at Muhammad. He's getting around every day and became so powerful. He's like the king of Arabia. So I'll start a similar business. So he claimed the Prophet, they received wahi. And Musaylima al-Kadhab was known, so much wars happened between him and Muslims. In the time of the Prophet, he was killed in Muqat al-Yamama. And Amr ibn al-As used to be his friend before Amr became Muslim. And so he went to Musaylima al-Kadhab before Amr became Muslim. And Musaylima asked him, okay, what are there any new revelation came to the Prophet of Makkah? He said, yeah. Amazing short but amazing surah. He said, what is it? So Amr told him, والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. And he said, okay, so I also received something recently, surah. He said, what is it? He said, يا وبر إنما أنت بإذنان وصبر وسائرك حقه فضل. Also narrated some other, said, الفيل وما أدراك ما الفيل له خرطوم طويل وذيل قصير. And he claimed this is a revelation. They were laughing about that. And Amr said, Wallahi, you know that I know you're a liar. And Amr was very smart. And he said, Wallahi, I know that you know that I know you're a liar. And someone told him, we know you're a liar. The liar of our tribe is dearer to us than the truthful of Quraysh. Tribalism. The liar of our tribe is better to us than the truthful of Bani Hashim or Quraysh. So they could not. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلُوا, so if you are unable to do that, and you will never. In Arabic called نفي التأبيد. نفي التأبيد, نفي المستقبل. It will never happen. You cannot, and you will never be able to. And again, how could Muhammad sallallahu if he is the author of the Quran, to challenge us all people is time, but all humanity in the future? Have you heard anybody who said that I'm going to produce something? No one ever in the future would be able to do something like 1 out of 114 of this Quran. And yeah, they tried. Actually, some American organizations they hired Arab Christians and they wrote something called Furqan al-Haq. And they have chapters with the name of Noah, chapter of Mursalun, Surah Musa, stuff like this. And they printed in print translation in languages, different languages, and they printed the word Furqan al-Haq. Once again, it's like a bubble that lives for a few seconds and disappears. فَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلُوا وَلَن تَفْعَلُوا. That's Allah speaking. That's not Muhammad, not any human being can say that. And you will never be able to do this. اتقوا النار التي وقودها الناس والحجارة. Fear the fire. Whose fuel is people and stones called the stones of rhinestone, Gabri, and this rhinestone, they are very fast in burning. وعدة للكافرين. Be aware or be afraid or reward you this fire that's prepared for the kafirin. وبشر الذين آمنوا. The Quran called Mathani. Mathani because you can always talk about good deeds and bad deeds, reward and punishment, believers and non-believers, so on. So often the Quran talks about warning, then he talks about giving good news. That's why Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam bashiran wa nadhiran, right? So then Allah said, وَبَشِّرِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. Right after this, Allah said, وَبَشِّرِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ أَنَّ لَهُمْ جَنَّاتٍ تَجْرِي مِن تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارُ. Give the good news to the believers. Those who do righteous deeds, again, believe and practice, that they will have this paradise or Jannat, beneath which rivers flow. كلما رزقوا منها من ثمرة رزقا قالوا هذا الذي رزقنا من قبل وأتوا به متشابها ولهم فيها أزواج مطهرة وهم فيها خالدون. So again, the good news, that tidings to the believers who do righteous good deeds. This Jannah, beneath which the rivers flow, تجري من تحتها الأنهار. It's a good example of what we call it tajweed al-waqf al-tabi'i. Because tajweed is about knowing where to stop and where to begin. So when someone recites وَبَشِّرِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ أَنَّ لَهُمْ جَنَّاتٍ تَجْرِي. What do you understand from this? Jannat tajri. You have to say Jannat tajri min tahtiha al-anhar. It is the rivers that flows through it. But if you stop on the word tajri, the meaning will be this Jannat itself, the Jannah runs. Doesn't make sense, right? So you have to stop and allow Jannat tajri min tahtiha al-anhar. So the subject is the river, not the Jannah itself. Right? The river runs. Stream runs, but the Jannah does not. كلما رزقوا منها من ثمرة الرزق قالوا هذا الذي رزقنا من قبل. That whenever they are provided with provisions of fruits, therefrom they will say this is what we will provide with before. Because some said that the fruits of Jannah would look like and have the same names of the fruits of dunya, but big difference in taste. So mango and apple, banana, things like that, but of course the quality is totally different. Others said that they will aim to provide them with these huge trays of fruits, and they will eat from it and enjoy it, and they will bring similar tray of same food. They say, okay, well, eat from this already. So no, it looks the same, but tastes different. Eat, enjoy it. So each mango has different. Each mango fruit has different tastes. So it's all mango. These are two interpretations. That either the fruit they receive is similar to the fruit of dunya, the name and shape, but taste is different, or every fruit has its own taste. وَأُتُوا بِهِ مُتَشَابِهًا. It look like each other. وَلَهُمْ فِيهَا أَزْوَاجٌ مُطَهَّرَةٌ. This is a perfect eternal life. They will have therein purified spouses, and they will be abide therein eternally. Mutahhara, physically and also spiritually. Lahum fiha azwaj mutahhara. So nothing is disgusting, sweating or urinating or menstruating or any of these things. It's all pure and clean, and you don't have to worry about anything that may displease you. So in Jannah, there is nothing that bothers people, something that they smell or they see or they touch or they hear. لا يسمعون فيها لغوا ولا تأثيما إلا قيلا سلاما سلاما. The eyes will never see anything displeasing, or the ear will never hear any bad words or bad jokes or foul language. they will never taste anything bad or touch anything. Everything is perfectly bitter. وهم فيها خالدون, and they are living therein eternally. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among them, and as He gathered us in His house of worship, to gather us inshallah in Jannah, enjoying Allah's blessing there, and enjoying the eternal life. قول قولي هذا واستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم، استغفروه واستغفروه ان شاء الله.